Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Hot Toys MMS308 Ant-Man. And straight up, it's an amazing figure, and I'm so happy that I was able to get this. I wanted to get it from Sideshow originally, but they did restrict it to Australian customers for some reason, and then they sold out fairly quickly. So luckily I was able to get it from the local Australian Hot Toys distributor in Pop Culture, and I did use the $50 discount in pennies that they have. So I did get this for a pretty good price, and they sold out pretty quickly as well as soon as the stock arrived. So definitely glad to finally have it, and it's probably their best figure that I've got from Hot Toys this year, if not last year as well. So it's right up there with some of their best work. With the packaging here, I do like the slip cover here, which has some fairly nice artwork there. Nothing else too fancy about it, the ant and so on, and then it's just the sort of clear window to the figure contents there, which I've all taken out, which you'll see here. And the accessories, it doesn't come with too much, but it's not too bad. Now it does come with batteries that you can put in the head. Now I'm not even going to bother doing to do it. I hate electronic features in these figures, and by all accounts it's an absolute pain in the ass to get that helmet cover off. So I'm not even going to bother to try it, because I've seen some other reviews where they have put the batteries in, and the light from most directions, particularly through the lenses of the helmet, you really can't even tell that it's on. So I'm not even going to bother trying it, because I normally remove all of the batteries anyway, just in case there's leakage. So it would be pretty much me just putting it in, trying it, and taking it out again, and I'm not going to bother to do it. But with the other accessories, it comes with this little tiny Ant-Man and his little stand here. So you'll see the little footprint things, which do hold it pretty well, although it just fell off there. So it does it does hold it fairly well, I think. Well, it was holding it fairly well, so maybe not. But anyway, if I can give you a close-up, if I just get this guy out of the way to focus. The details on this little guy are pretty good for maybe about 2 centimeters in height. So if you just have a look at that, nicely painted and detailed. There's nothing... there's no articulation or anything, luckily for something this size, but overall the detail looks pretty good. So if you just sort of have him standing like this with the other figures, it would look pretty cool. There you go, I managed to get the feet in there tightly. So overall, not too bad an accessory, and I think they have been including the little Ant-Man in various poses and action poses and so on in a whole bunch of other figures, so maybe that was their incentive to try and get everyone to collect them all. It comes with a whole bunch of hands, so he's got a couple of fisted hands, I think. So you get the left and right fisted hands, which is pretty nice. I do like the painted detail on the sort of wiring and stuff, and the push button to change size, etc. So the molding and the paint app is pretty good. So you get 2 fists there. You get these 2 weird, I don't know, action palm hand things, which again are fairly nicely done. Now mine did come with these 2 somewhat similar hands. They're not identical, so I'm not sure why they didn't include matching left and right, but they gave 2 right hands, where I guess he's about to press the button, and this one is just some sort of maybe the holding one of the pin particle vials or something, but not sure. So I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not, but I only got those 2. You also get a couple of those throwing disc things, so one in blue and one in red. So the blue one was the one, I think, that changed the ant into the big pet ant, and this one throws and makes things smaller. So a nice bit of detailing in those. It comes with 4 vials of the pin particle, and I think there are 4 slots in the belt that you can put these into. I'm not sure which way they go in. I'm assuming it's the red dot or the... No, they're all red dots. I'm not sure which way faces front, but either way, you can put those into the belt. And then it comes with these two blocks, which I honestly have no idea what they are. I can't actually remember them from the movie, so I'm not sure if they're just bombs or some other sort of mechanism, but yeah, the overall paint app and detail is pretty good. But of course the main attraction is the figure itself. I'll give you guys a closer look now. I did forget to point out that it does come with this fairly nice stand, so I do like the silver plaque there. I am a little bit worried about this tamped on sort of decal thing here. Most times I've seen this sort of thing, over time they start to peel off, so hopefully this doesn't happen on this one. But overall it does have the nice glossy Ant-Man there, so that is a nice stand. But the figure itself, just bringing him forward here, the standout feature of course by far is this incredible head sculpt. I absolutely love it. The paint application is probably the standout as well. I mean, it's got you know, some of the Hot Toys figures sometimes do have a bit of softness to the paint application, but the detail in the freckling, the sort of 5 o'clock shadow, the glistening of the eyes, and everything is just spot on. So I can't complain about that at all. And the likeness to Paul Rudd is, well, uncanny. So really nothing to complain about there at all. The visor here, you just take that off like so. And there are a couple of magnets that you'll see there if I can actually focus. So there's a couple of magnets on the inside there that hold it to the head sculpt. So you can either have it down or up, and I'll show you that in a second. But the detail all around in the head sculpt, if I can just show you this. So the paint application on the metallic parts is very, very realistic. I think it's all plastic, so there's no metal in there at all. But just the paint application, the weathering is also very realistic. So an awesome amount of detail. Now I guess probably the worst feature and my nit to pick about this figure are these wires. So you'll see there are a couple of holes back here, one there and one on the side here. In a way it's probably good that they make them fairly flexible and they fall out when you rotate the head. Just in case there's any sort of snappages and so on, but it is an absolute pain in the ass to get them to fit in there, particularly depending on the direction that you have it in. So I tend to, they tend to fall out on their own anyway, but when you turn the head, it's probably best to just get it in a position where you prefer it and then try and slot them in. But I find that this one on the left here, no matter how hard I try to get it to stay in there, because of the way this is sort of bending, it just won't stay in there unless the head is actually turned that way, and then it'll stay in place, which then probably causes problems on this side. So overall, that's probably the worst feature of this particular figure. But you'll see this whole sort of mouth guard area is really, really nicely done, and this sort of has a sort of rotation aspect to it as well, so you can expose a bit more of his head sculpt there, and this thing does rotate up and down. So I might just put him down for a second. So if you just have a look, so essentially what you do is these sections here get pulled back up, so you can rotate it up like so, and then just gently push them up. And there is a pretty good clearance in there, so there is no major risk of damaging the head sculpt, but you just sort of gently push it up like so, and then put this visor on like that, and then you just sort of futz around getting that pushed in as far as it can go. I'm not sure if that's all the way in, but you get the sort of gist of what it is meant to do. and once it's all in, it does look pretty damn good. So I probably won't have it displayed like that. I do like the head sculpt enough to want to have that exposed, so I tend to just push it down as far as it goes, rotate that down, and then just expose a bit more. I think you might be able to get it to push down just a tad more, but I'm not going to try and force it too far down, because it does look pretty good enough like that. Aside from the helmet itself, the suit and the detailing and the material they've used is pretty damn amazing as well. So they've got a lot of different textures. This whole sort of section here seems like it's almost like a vest. I don't think these shoulder points are connected to the arms here, but everything from this front bit all the way down to the back here seems to be a one piece, even all the way down to the legs and so on. So it seems like it's one long big onesie. And the undersuit here, I'm not sure how far it goes underneath, but through the neck and through the arms here, it looks like a separate piece of the outfit. But what I do find is that these shoulder pieces are pretty damn rigid. They're made of a very similar material to the front here and the back here, so it really does restrict the articulation. I can only probably get it to about that far, and I think the instructions probably tell you not to go too far anyway. So if I just quickly show you the instructions here. For the arms, they do say for the arms they can only go to about 45 degrees to the sides, which is probably as far as I can go there due to these shoulder areas. It does say that you can swing them to the front and bend the elbows. Now I don't know if I can bend the elbows 120 degrees. Now there is a double joint in there, but again the suit really does restrict it, and then the elbow starts pushing through this elbow pad here, and I really don't want to risk damaging that, to be honest. And leaving it in that position for a long amount of time might damage that part of the suit here. It's not rubber, but it's got that sort of pleather type material, so I'll probably be a bit careful there. Mine's probably going to end up being in a pretty static museum pose, but most of my collection's like that, so it's not going to look out of place. Now this belt area here, it's actually a removable belt. I actually wasn't sure if it was removable, but you do need to take it off to remove all the bloody ridiculous plastic that they wrap around these figures for protection during shipping. So the belt itself is nicely painted and detailed, like the sort of dull metal wash with sort of light silver weathering type look to it, and it's just buckled in by these two holes here and the two pegs there. So you can adjust it around. It does look pretty nice, and these are the holes that you insert the pin particle vials in there. So overall, I do like that look there, and I guess without the belt it gives you a better look at the suit itself. So it is a one entire sort of piece suit, and you just look at the tailoring and the different sort of textures of the materials. It's just an amazing job on this figure. So you've got this sort of piece here. I'm not sure how they connect that, to be honest. It looks like it's I don't know if it's glued on or what, but it's attached to this pleather type material, similar to the sides here. So you get all the sort of panel lining, different textures on the elbows, the torso area on the sides here, and then the different textures on the legs and so on going into these. They're not even boots really. This whole section is part of the suit, so the only real shoes are these bottom bits here. There's not any real articulation. You can sort of rotate them, but there's no real hinge movement or ankle rocking motion, which is a shame. So it is a bit restricted there, but overall the molding and the detailing looks pretty damn fantastic. Just look at the detail on the back here. So you've got the different materials there. So I'm not sure if I can't tell if that's glued on. It must be glued on. And then you've got these little silver parts as well that must be glued on as well. But the overall tailoring, I guess a bit of wobbliness in the middle in the middle here, but luckily that's on the rear. so you can't tell too much, but even just the detail on the backpack here is just really nicely done. So in terms of the outfit, I don't think they could have done a better job really. They've really made it a fantastic looking figure with that particular outfit. I guess it is restricted with its articulation. This whole torso area, I can't seem to move it at all. I mean, the suit, you know, with all of the stitching here, if you try and move it, I just feel like you're going to end up starting to maybe tear some of the stitching areas, which would be pretty drastic. So I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. The legs, some of the good bloggers and the photographers had been able to get him into a pretty good sort of pose, like he's jumping or something like that. So you can sort of stretch the suit out, but I'm not going to bother trying to do that. The knees, I mean, the instructions here say that the knees can bend, you know, 70 degrees in that direction. When I try and bend it, it just won't go. This whole sort of knee section here is very rigid, and that's pretty much as far as I can push it. So I'm not sure how they're getting it that far, but even on this one here, it's feeling very tight. So for me, my figure is not going to be doing any sort of running poses or anything like that. So overall, that's probably the one of the disappointing things, I guess, but weighing it up against such a detailed and outstanding looking costume, it's not too big a deal for me. The hands here, they do swap out fairly easily. You can sort of pull that off. I mean, you had to sort of take that off to get all the plastic off again. So these are the little gauntlets, which do look pretty nice. And it's interesting, these arms here, I'm not sure if it's glued. I think it actually is glued, or no, it just looks like it's covering the little ball peg there. So I guess with the suit, there's no real risk of, you know, when you put some of the other figures, when you put the gauntlet on, it pushes the suit up, and it's a pain in the ass to try and get the suit to come back down. Looks like with this one, it's so tightly wound around that joint that that's probably not going to be a problem. But overall, it's not too hard to swap the hands around. But again, I would probably dip them in some hot water or something just to soften them up, and then put them on. But that is pretty much it. So definitely one of my favorite figures from Hot Toys for this year. The highlights definitely the head sculpt and the costume. So if you're a Marvel fan, I think this is pretty much a must-have figure. I've got, I don't have all the Avengers figures and so on. I do have most of the major superheroes that I sort of knew before the movies came out. You know, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, etc. So I don't have every single character, but after I watched Antman, I thought the first movie was fantastic. So, and this suit is definitely my preferred look over the Civil War. I mean, even though he was pretty good in that movie, I definitely love the original look. Just like I like the original Mark III Iron Man as opposed to all the latest variants. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you like that quick look at this figure. So if you can, I think it's pretty much sold out everywhere now. So it's going to be hard to get at regular retail prices unless you get fairly lucky. So hopefully you guys who are fans and looking for it, hopefully you can get your hands on it. Hopefully you can click that subscribe button too, because I've got the Hot Toys Boba Fett Deluxe figure coming up next to review. So hopefully you can stick around for that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.